Hello, everybody. My name is James Orr. I'm the director, video editor, and the guy that shot Vile. And to the right of me, I have the producer, Elizabeth Kutsia. Kutsia. Just want to start off by saying that this film is very low budget. I think the budget for this film was
$100.
Barely $100, and that went exclusively towards Dunkin' Donuts and gas.
And like a prop that we didn't use.
And a prop that we didn't use. Yes. So yeah, let's get started. So the primary location for this film is a small town in New Jersey called Blairstown. And a little fun fact about this town is it just happens to be the same location that the 1970s version of Friday the 13th was shot.
Yep, I grew up in this town. So this town is just really creepy in itself. We shot this around November.
So this shot wasn't even originally in the storyboard. We were just basically driving around Blairstown looking for some sort of establishing shot so we could show that this is in the middle of nowhere, and that is basically middle fall, middle of nowhere, kind of eerie vibe about the town. And I saw these two donkeys, and I was like, oh, that would be a sweet shot to just get like these donkeys like just staring into the camera. My luck was good that day, and they ended up walking straight towards me. Ended up getting pretty close footage of them. And then this location was very lucky as well, because we wanted to find a spot for the main character to kind of live in. And our original location in upstate New York was changed because of a lot of different budgeting things, transporting actors. It would have been just a whole mess. And being from Brooklyn, coming straight to New Jersey was just a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah.
And so basically we were just driving around looking for an abandoned place to just like, not even abandoned, just a place to shoot the outside of, to kind of establish that this is where the main character lives. So when we were shooting this house, shooting the outside, we noticed that the front door was open, or the side door. We noticed the side of the door was open. So we were like, oh, well, let's go in, as you do. And ended up getting a lot of really cool, eerie footage of this abandoned building that seems like it's being remodeled, but then it just stopped. There was just something mysterious about the whole building. House. Yeah. So this is a extra shot for the film. This shot that is sliding into frame here is one that I wish I could have used, but because we screwed the heavy bag into the plank so badly, the heavy bag just kind of fell mid-punch. You'll see. And also, it didn't help that Kyle was just beating the hell out of that thing.
Yeah. So Kyle was not our original actor. So our original actor totally bailed on us last minute, which is awesome and something that everyone will experience a million times in their life with film.
Yeah, I started sweating profusely as soon as I got that text.
It was like right before we were supposed to shoot. So I texted my good friend, and who has no experience in acting whatsoever, and was like, hey, do you want to act in this for us? He agreed, and he let us shoot in his house. So this is actually in his basement. And he did awesome. Yeah,
he killed it. Also, I know, like a continuity thing. On the left side of the frame, there's a light panel that I didn't notice while I was shooting it. So now you guys can be as bothered as me.
And what's awesome too is like I was like sitting right beneath that light. And, I was like holding like a fog machine, and then our sound guy Joel was standing like right in front of Kyle.
Right behind that vent.
Yeah. We were very hidden.
Yeah. And then in this shot, he's not actually hitting anything.
I personally wanted to veto this shot because it was too obvious to me that he wasn't hitting anything. Because like once the heavy bag fell, I don't really think that we utilized it again.
Yeah, it was the plank that we used was so messed up that we were just like, oh,
it broke.
Yeah, it just straight up broke.
So we faked it.
It's a testament to Kyle's strength.
But the lighting here, it was like very important to play with this like cool and warm tone.
Showing how like Kyle's like kind of in the shadows a bit. How there's like a light to his back.
Also, just like the immense clutter, craziness. It's like, it's kind of claustrophobic because when you start out, you're like in this empty house, and then all of a sudden you're in a basement, and it's just like so much aggression and darkness and.
Yeah, actually, claustrophobia was kind of a kind of goal for the film. It's part of the reason why it's shot in 4:3, because I wanted Kyle's experience to seem very closed in and kind of like, I don't know, just hard to breathe, because it's kind of making it. I want to make a comment on like mental health and how if things go downhill mentally, it gets kind of overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought going 4:3 was a good way to express that. And then this shot was the producer's idea.
I directed a few shots, I will say.
And she's very proud. I'm very proud.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I think that, well, actually, we shot a lot in this abandoned house. So this is not in Kyle's house. This was in the first house that we showed. We shot a lot here, and I wanted to keep a lot more than we did. But there was just something so magical about this light coming in, and we just experienced something so crazy downstairs in the basement, and now it's like this sign of peace, but it's just awkward. His body is weird, and like I love his back and like the reflection, and it's just it's like you're having this moment to breathe, but it's still very tight and claustrophobic.
Yes, it's kind of like throughout the whole film you'll get like these little breaths of fresh air kind of thing, where it'll be a moment of intensity and then right afterwards it's just silence. I like working with just giving the audience like some room to breathe. I feel like it gives like a good pacing to the film. Yeah.
And also just his strange movements tell a lot about him in a way, because there is no dialogue.
Yes. And then this is a shot that I really wanted to add.
Me too.
But anywhere I put it, it seemed like there was just too much punching and like the aggression was kind of like overdone already. So I decided to keep it out. But it's a direct reference to a film I'm very inspired by Jared Hogan called Pray for the Children. You can see the similarities between the shots. You can barely see the character's face. And yeah.
I just love the mystery of it too. And like the window's disgusting.
Yeah, in both.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. This is the third location. There's a lot of locations, so just brace yourself because it's probably going to be a little bit confusing. But this location is meant to be the main character's bedroom, and it comes back a little later in the film as the main character's childhood home. So this location serves two purposes. But when I shot this, the light was overwhelmingly orange, and I wanted to kind of keep up with the like that blue orange vibe that we had going there. And also it didn't seem realistic for a town or a house in the country to have tungsten light coming in. It kind of seemed like a spotlight or like a street light, something like that. So I felt like having the blue there was like a good way to give it like a full moon vibe. And for this shot, I found myself stuck because I had to keep this blue look, but I also wanted to show that there was light coming out from under the door, and I wanted it to seem realistic. You know, the light wouldn't be blue if it was shining in from under the door. So I had this dilemma of kind of like trying my best to keep the light under the door yellow, but the rest of the room blue. Two mixed results. Elizabeth doesn't like this shot, and I don't like this shot anymore. When I was editing this, I was like all for it. I was like, this looks sick. Mm-hmm. But then it grew on me, and I was like, oh.
It's just kind of like a learning experience, you know, because at the time, like when you're in the middle of shooting, you don't really think about it. You're like, oh, you know, I'll fix this later, or like, you know, you don't think about it. But now we know. Now we know, like, to make sure that we do everything in camera rather than in post.
And this was shot with 2 light panels, by the way. There was a light panel in the room that the camera's in, and there was also a light panel shining at the floor to kind of bounce under the door like this.
Held by yours truly.
And here's another shot by the producer.
If you couldn't tell already, I like backs. I think so. Basically, when I had the idea for this shot, I wanted his back to look really weird and like I don't know. I just didn't. I wanted him to look uncomfortable and like rigid and like awkward,
mangled.
Yeah, and weird. And so, what I did was I just kept telling him. I was like, okay, curve up your shoulders more, bring them up more and more. And I was like, okay, that's good. And then, I just like directed him to look into the camera slowly. So basically this whole shot, I'm just talking to him the whole time. And he did great. It's like so tight, and
And out of all the shots that we got, all the sequences, this for some reason was the one that almost got us in trouble.
Yep.
While we were filming this, we went to a privately owned lake, but Kyle, the actor, was a member of this, so we had all the rights to go there. But somebody didn't believe that, so they ended up calling the police on us.
And we had 3 state troopers come after us. And yeah.
Oh, here's the these are the people. These are who we think call the cops. Are you ready? There they are.
There they are.
That's them. Well, we think. And that's also us getting pulled over.
Ridiculous.
As proof. I wanted him to just be playing some like death metal out of the car just to like show the anger that he felt driving. I think it turned out pretty well. And you can actually see the how his like knuckles are all torn up from hitting that heavy bag in the shot.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. He destroyed his hands, and he was like, "I'll keep going. Did you get the shot? Did you get the shot? Like, I'll do it again." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Literally, yeah. His skin was like ripped to shreds.
I have an annoying smudge on my lens there. This is the same door as the blue door. I think it's actually the same shot.
Oh, is it?
It's the same shot, I think, yeah.
Wow.
I just took all the color down. I think I desaturated basically all of it. I think the saturation was like 10%. And it ended up looking like day. So I was like, oh, that works.
Gloomy day.
Gloomy day. Yeah, these are all the same shots.
Wow, you sneaky.
Very sneaky. And then cut.
And there's Joel.
There's our audio guy. This is Joel, our audio guy.
He is a man of many hats.
Many hats, many talents. And that's Vile. Thank you for watching. Hope you actually watched the film. You can check it out on our YouTube channel, 10 Acre Films. YouTube/10 Acre Films. You'll notice us by the very elegant title.
Well, we're 10 Acre Films with the 10, not TEN Acre Films, because that's another production company.
Yes, very very important detail. 10, number 10.
Because
get it right.
The TEN, that's going to take you somewhere else, and you don't want to go there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching.
The boat was my friend.